guys, it's Kevin again. In this video, we're reviewing to American Horror Story Coven, Episode 9, Head. And this was the mid-season finale, and it was a crazy episode, especially those last 15 minutes. Just tons of shit went down in this episode, and I mean, it is definitely going to get crazy on the show. Judging on the end of the episode, definitely, I think it's going to get really, really crazy. So, this episode was basically, there's a lot to take in this episode. There's a lot going on in this episode, but I really like that, where the season is heading. I think that's really cool. So pretty much, you know, the end of the last week's episode, they tried to basically, Cordelia and Fiona made up and everything. So now, Fiona's trying to, you know, she had that statement at the beginning of the season. It hangs heavy over the mid-season finale. You know, first she unified her coven to bleed in the goal of killing her. Now comes the bigger enemy, witch hunters, but this new threat is more than ever the Salem witches can handle, because basically, this episode, the flashback we got, I really did not care about at all, and I don't even want to talk about the flashback, because, honestly, that was the worst part of the episode. I don't understand, just why we had this flashback. It didn't make any sense to me until I realized who it was. Then I understood it. His backstory is, you know, we see him in this fishing trip with his father. He's on this witch hunting trip with his father, basically, in the forests of North Georgia. And it kind of reminded me of the second episode when the two men were on the fishing trip. Hank loses his nerve when it comes to killing the fire breather. And his father literally takes the heat before killing the witch. And basically he says, never forget who they are, because basically they're about to shoot the witch, and I'm like, and as soon as they try to shoot her, she just attacks them, and you basically assume that his father died because of this. So, I thought that was definitely very interesting, the way they started it. I mean, at first I didn't realize who that was, but then I realized, oh shit, that's Hank, and then, that was definitely very interesting. So this all sets up Hank's story, and the problem is he's not a very good witch hunter. He's preying on the not-so-bright Kaylee, and he's leaving a mess for the Order to clean up at the hotel. He even fell in love with his prey, as evidenced by shock at his father ordering, who actually was the one who murdered, who was the one who made Cordelia blind with his father. Now, his father is played by the guy who played Jerry on Smash, and I must say that he's a very good actor. He did a very good job on Smash, and he did a very good job on this as well. And he's always very, direct and everything, and he was like that on this as well. So, he's very frustrated. He wants his son went beyond orders to subserve and start attacking witches. And the Order was a stealthier plan in mind for the witches, including the voodoo coven, that does not include killing hotel workers because Hank got trigger happy. So, in the meantime, though, really, this all connects. It's not like a separate plot, because it all connects. So, we all know that how Fiona feels about this new threat. So, basically, now she heads over to Marie, and she goes to take the head, and she's trying to seek an alliance with the voodoo witches, and Marie's like, never gonna happen. She's laughing at this whole, as Delphine's head eavesdrops, and she's like, are you insane? And she says, what the head said in the voodoo, Delphine really now is just complete comic relief. Now that she's just a head, it's actually, they gave her some really funny lines in this episode. They really did a great job with that. So she laughs, and the voodoo priestess chalks up the witch hunter, worries to white woman's problems shoes off Fiona, and tells Queenie to burn the head, basically. So we also see that after this, we see Myrtle. Now, the biggest thing is Myrtle is revealing in her new life. She's rebuilding her bond with Cordelia, and she's gifting her new eyes. Myrtle sugarcoats her mean streak with her and Mame demeanor. but she's just as vengeful as Fiona. So the generous donors wish to remain anonymous. She says after hacking the council members to pieces, she actually, jabbed out their eyes, the council members, and so she gave Cordelia both of their eyes, which is really creepy, but Cordelia now has a lot going on. She's finding her attack on the back row to pack up Hank's junk, and is getting Fiona and Myrtle to play nice, and is teaching Misty the ways of potions. Just like, that was definitely very interesting. But Delia brushes aside the compliment, saying Fiona is the leader, and she even gets Myrtle and Fiona to play nice as they face the big bad ahead. And, so Fiona greets Hank on his way out with her new German Shepherd, who snarls at Hank as he slinks away. And Dora and Fifi even pull a little lassie moment when she snips at Zoe's door. And Fiona's like, "What is it?" And it's Kyle playing on the floor with the new dog. And Kyle, Fiona's like, "Put it down," and everything. Kyle snaps her neck. So, obviously she's gone. But instead of getting upset, Fiona seizes the opportunity, and while they're away, she actually ends up getting him to be very smart. So now she's basically calling him their guard dog, which is very interesting. And I'm very interested in seeing where exactly this is going to go, because that was definitely really, really cool. So yeah, I really like that. So, then after this, it gets pretty crazy after this, because we see that, by the way, Zoe and Madison and Nan were pretty much MIA most of the episode. It didn't really focus on them, it just focused mainly on trying to make this alliance. There was one other thing we do have to talk about after this, but, let's get to the end of the episode, which was so crazy. We see Hank loading up all these bullets, basically. And, she's loading up all these bullets. There's this song playing, which has to do with the subplot, which I'll get to. And, he's cast aside by his father, wife and employer, and you think he's going to go attack we think he's going to go attack all of the witches in the Coven, but that's not what he does at all. He goes right to the voodoo witches, and he breaks in there, and he literally just starts shooting everybody. And it's pretty crazy the way that all worked. I thought that was an amazing scene, especially with the song playing in the background. He ends up shooting the one woman who was loyal to Marie. He shoots her. He shoots Queenie. He shoots Queenie, which I was very surprised that he shot Queenie. I didn't think Queenie was going to actually die. I don't know if she's dead, but luckily Queenie was able to shoot. He was about to shoot Marie, but before he could do that, Queenie put the gun in her mouth and killed him. And I think she actually did kill herself as well, because it doesn't look like, we didn't see anything of her after this episode. So the big question is, did she die? What happened to her? And, she blowed Hank's brains out. And this scene was I was so impressed with this scene. It was so violent. It was perfect. It was the perfect amount of intensity that we needed for this scene. And I really, really loved that. I thought that was great. And, the very end of this episode, we see Marie, she shows up to the house at night, and Fiona welcomes her in. Now, I'm suspecting she's going to try to now go with this deal, because pretty much now Marie has nobody if Queenie's dead, because he shot the girl that was, loyal to her and wanted to start the whole, hair salon in the first place, barbershop, hair salon, whatever you want to call it. And Queenie's dead too. I'm assuming she's going to tell her that Queenie's dead, and they need to start a new alliance, which, if Queenie's dead, good. I think that's going to be a bigger problem now, and I'm really hoping that's what's going to happen. So yeah, that I really, really loved. I really love this part of the episode, and I especially love the ending. I thought the ending was just perfect. I really love that. Now, the only other thing that was going on was Queenie and Delphine, which was by far the funniest part of the episode. Queenie's very conflicted of what to do with Delphine, because Marie told her to do something with Delphine. She decided that she's not going to throw her head away. and she never got along with many of the Salem witches, but she seems to not really fit in with what Marie wants of her either. So she takes things in her own hands and gives Delphine a history lesson consisting of Roots, the Next Generations, Mandigo, The Color Purple, and Babs. And Holly Berry's performance in Queen doesn't speak as close to Black history as her portrayal of Nissi. And she says, "You are not leaving this earth until I educate you about these people that you tortured." And Delphine really just, this is torture for her. She's closing her eyes the whole time so she doesn't have to see. And by the way, I saw Roots in class, and it's very disturbing. And I had to see that in history class this year. It's very, very disturbing. But Delphine is like closes her eyes the whole time, so nothing could, so she didn't have to see it. So Queenie sees that she's not really watching it, and so after this, basically she puts on this one video, and she says, if this doesn't touch your soul, then you don't have one. And this was good. Now this song, "Oh Freedom," it plays as Hank is shooting everybody. And I thought it was actually very effective because I didn't think we were going to get something in that scene. But we see as this is going on, Delphine opens her eyes and she actually, is starting to, I think, see things her way. And she actually begins to cry. So Delphine may be changing her ways, I think. I think because of what Queenie is showing her, that it's actually okay for this to happen. It's not okay what they did. And I think Delphine's actually really upset about this because from her perspective, all she's ever known is that blacks are, bad people, but she's starting to see the endless torture that they did to them, and I think she's starting to get really, really upset for that. And I think she also thinks that she might be the reason for that. I think that's the other thing that she's worried about. So I definitely really love the main plot. I thought it was really, really good. And not the main plot. I definitely really like this plot. I thought it was very effective, and I'm very interested in seeing where it's going to go. The last thing we have to talk about is Joan and Luke. Now, this is very, very disturbing, this whole plot. I don't really know how to explain. As I said, Zoe, Madison, and Nan are pretty much MIA the whole episode, except for this scene, which is pretty much Nan is trying to tend to Luke, who is rebuffed by Joan. It's not until Luke begins whispering to Nan the things he's wanted to say to his mother that she begins to trust Nan. And Coma Luke knew Joan killed his father with bees for cheating on her, and just wants her to sing to her, and just wants to hear her to sing to him like she once did. So the first time we get to hear Payahon sing, she's singing just a closer walk with thee. And it was actually very sad and everything, and I really like that. She embraces Nan for helping her with her son. The girls are content to leaving Coma Luke alone with his mom and not wanting to deal with her own issues. She smothers Luke with a pillow, and he wakes up cold, basically. He wakes up, he's like, "What's going on?" She's like, "Go back to sleep." And then she puts a pillow over his face, and that is the last we saw of this episode. So I think pretty much what's going on now is she's starting to see things Nan's way, but she doesn't really want anything bad to happen to her at the same time. And so I don't really know what's going to happen from here, but it's definitely going to get very crazy, I think. Unfortunately, we only have 4 episodes left, but I think those 4 episodes are going to be very intense. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. Do you think that Marie's actually going to go along with this alliance? I think that's what she wants to talk to Fiona about. Do you think Queenie's dead? I'm thinking Queenie died. I mean, we know Hank is dead. We know the one girl that was in the alliance with her, in the barbershop. I know she's dead. But is Queenie dead? That's the big question. And is Delphine actually starting to get a soul? I mean, we've seen her have this before, so I wouldn't be surprised. But do you think she was actually affected by that video? I think she was affected by it. And also, do you think Kyle will be a good watchdog? I think he will be. I forgot. Oh, yeah, I said Cordelia got her vision back. That's it for my review, though. I hope you enjoyed. It looks like there's going to be an episode where, by the way, each of them are going to fight to see who the new Supreme is, so that should be interesting as well. That's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And unfortunately, for American Horror Story, I won't see you guys till January 8th. So, see you then. Bye.